Hello and welcome back to Shelf Center. This is Bryce. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for liking and subscribing. This is something you end up enjoying. You never know. It could happen. Hey, I haven't done one of these in a long while, so I figured I would jump on BookTube himself, Brian's nightclub book tag. I think it's awesome. Probably, as you'll find out, not super fitting for me, who's extremely boring, but I thought it'd be fun to jump onto this, so let's jump into it. Of course, consider yourself tagged in this because it's just a lot of fun. If you watch this, want to do the same thing, it's a great tag. It's lots of fun. So anyway, prompt number one, cocktail hour. This is a book that you think pairs perfectly with your favorite drink. Well, may not be the last, but I felt like it really it worked for this. Favorite drink is very boring, but we're gonna go with Dr. Pepper. It's a total advertisement here. Dr. Pepper with its blend of 23 flavors. I mean, that's pretty complex, right? Just like Malzahn Book of the Fallen. So that's what I'm going to go with. Malzahn Book of the Fallen with my favorite drink. Not a big drinker. Then we've got Neon Lights. Neon Lights is going to be a book with a cover that immediately grabbed your attention like bright lights in a club. And that one is a very recent pickup of mine, but The Silver Blood Promise by James Logan. I just think this book absolutely grabs your attention. It's so good. It's so cool. I love this cover so much. I had to have the book when I first literally laid eyes on it. It grabbed my attention from Twitter mainly, but or X, whatever you want to call it. And I had to actually specifically order it in at my Barnes & Noble, so that was kind of frustrating, but because it deserves a place. Look at it. Look at it. It should be on the shelf. Then we got The Bouncer. What book did you have to put down because it wasn't letting you in? This is an oldie for me, but I remember getting about halfway through Glory Road by Robert A. Heinlein, and it just was not grabbing me. It was definitely not letting me into its story. I was not getting it. I've liked other Heinlein books, like Starship Troopers I liked, but Glory Road just did not work for me. And I had heard, maybe my expectations were too high, but a lot of people that I had been looking around at had it as one of their top 10 books of all time, and it did not work for me. Had to DNF that. Number 4, we got DJ's Choice. What book would you recommend as the perfect read for someone new to the fantasy genre? I thought this one would be The Warded Man by Peter V. Brett. It's got a great, fun magic system. It's really compelling. It kind of fits along the lines. It's not the same exactly, but it kind of has the same kind of themes as a zombie apocalypse kind of movie. So it's almost like, hey, you know, that's been popular, and if you want to get into fantasy, this is a great kind of bridge novel into that with those same kind of tropes as you'll see in like a zombie type show. Anyway, and it's one of my favorite. I just absolutely love that series. Disco Ball, number 5. Name a book that you feel like you were part of a vibrant, glittering world. This is definitely The Whitefire Crossing. The whole book from almost like page 1, you're just into the magic of this world, and it's just, it infuses everything. And I just love like a really good fantasy book that where the magic is just all over the place. I love a good low fantasy book too. George R. R. Martin, Joe Abercrombie. You'll see maybe them on the list a little bit too, but a great, you know, what just like really got me was vibrant, glittering world was this idea of, you know, the magic just permeating everything. Every page had something about the magic affecting things, and I loved how that was worked into this great story. Number 6, Dance Floor Diva. What book had you dancing with excitement from the first page to the last? There's actually a couple I named. Anyway, I'm going to do a couple because I can cheat, because who's going to stop me, right? All right, first book is going to be Heroes Die, Matthew Woodring Stover. This one never lets up. It's absolutely bonkers. It's crazy. I love it. And it gets philosophical too, but it's page 1 to the end. It's such a cool concept that absolutely loved it. The other one, I actually put Way of Kings, but this is one I had in hand here at the time of filming this, and it works too, because same thing, Oathbringer. It's amazing. It's so good. And something about Sanderson's writing, you're just flowing right in with the story. And I love that that's his focus. I love that he can just get you, draw you into this beautiful, amazing world of Rashar, and just, I mean, with all the powers going, all the treatment of just like different things. And I was just watching a Q&A from Sanderson about like, did you intend to kind of have, you know, some kind of the representation in your books that you know, of like, you know, PTSD, depression, those types of things. The way he described it, I thought was great, was because he was like, my wife has depression, but the books you read on depression are just about depression. What about someone who has depression but also can do magic and be in this fantasy world? And I thought that's exactly, I mean, because that makes your fantasy world that much more realistic, that they can become strengths. And I love that, and I love that kind of treatment here. Not only is it normal, but also it can be a strength, and I love that part. So absolutely love this. Number 7, guest list. Which author would you invite to an exclusive book-themed party, and why? These were, again, 2 that I thought of. I just thought it'd be fun. He just seems hilarious. All of his interviews. It's going to be Joe Abercrombie. He's just a blast to just watch, and how much fun he has, and just he's as funny as he is in his books in real life. And so he's absolutely would just like be cracking jokes, live at the party, I'm sure, or not. I don't know. I don't know him personally, but anyway, he'd be fun. The other one is Jim Butcher. I thought Jim Butcher's great. Just, you know, would be fun. I just feel like out there dancing. They'll put themselves out there. You know, that's what you need, someone to kind of start that. VIP entrance number 8. Which book did you feel privileged to read before it became more widely popular? I only had this this book in the series, but I do mean Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. I was reading back in 2006, so you better believe I lorded it over everyone when it came out from HBO in the show, and you know, because I knew everything right then, but it was, and, you know, and it's almost sad that like I can't you know introduce this series to anyone anymore because everybody's already heard about it. But that was a fun one to introduce to people that would just blow their mind and go, I'm jealous that you get to read this for the first time, because it's just so powerful. Some of those surprises too. But I was reading this before anyone. I was actually reading Way of Kings before everyone, because I have an advanced reading copy that I never stopped mentioning, apparently. Number 9, Dance Battle. Which 2 characters from different books would you love to see face off in a dance battle? I think it was more the alliteration than anything for some reason, but it was the Viper from, not this book, but from A Song of Ice and Fire, and Vin from Mistborn. Obviously, she would have to be somewhat pared down in her powers, maybe like early Vin, but I don't know why. It was the alliteration that just came out, and I just stuck with it, apparently. There's no real reason. The Viper and Vin, you know, his maybe, you know, willingness, you know, if she really did something to his family that at least he thought she did, that would have him going like to 11. So number 10, midnight read. What's a book you couldn't put down and end up reading all night? This was a very recent one. I was losing sleep over it. I'm gonna go with Piranesi by Susanna Clark. Once you really get deep into this, and you're just, this mystery starts like taking over your life. So it's really cool. What an interesting premise. It's this is one of those that don't read too much about it. Just go in as blind as you can. Everyone recommended that I do that, and I recommend it back to everyone else. Absolutely the way to go. You want to be as blind as possible, and it's good. All right, I have to keep reusing books that I have, even though I don't, just because I don't have the actual book in hand. I have one of the books in the series. But anyway, 11, After Party. What book left you with a hangover, unable to start a new read immediately after finishing it? I was actually just talking to the great boiled jellyfish Jordan about, he's been reading one of my favorite series of all time, Malazan. And so it's not this book again. This could be one of them though too, actually, now that I think about it and have grabbed it. But we were talking, and that's why I named this one, but Dead House Gates. Partly the ending to it, just, I was so struck. I was just devastated and miserable. I literally couldn't even pick anything up if I tried. And I don't even think I tried very hard. but also ready to just pick up the next book in the series at the same time. But I just remember being so gutted and just like my world fell apart. And how does a book do that? It's amazing. Number 12, late night conversations. Which book left you thinking deeply or wanting to discuss it with others late into the night? This one again, because I can use as much as I want. Well, who's going to stop me? Are you going to stop me? I don't think so. Sorry. I don't know why I'm getting confrontational with my viewers, but here we are. 2 books. One of them is, and they're both kind of sci-fi, I guess. One is Replay by Ken Grimwood. I still think of it. It's been like 5 to 10 years at least since I've read it. I remember liking the book at the time, but not overly loving it. But it's one that has stuck with me for a long time. Just considering, what would it be like to have a Groundhog Day, but essentially you die around your 40s, you come back to life in your 20s. Well, you're able to make bets and make yourself rich. Do you follow the same path and still, have your same kids, only to watch them then die? And just some of these things are just like, oh my gosh, that would be horrendous even, to keep continually seeing these things or having to like lose them over and over again. I might have to go back and put spoilers on that, sorry. But anyway, still think about it to this day, going, not every kind of like thing that you might think at first is great, and there's always some ramifications, and that's one of those where I was like, oh, that was a gut punch. The other one is Roadside Picnic by the Strugatsky brothers, Arkady and Boris. Roadside Picnic just is one, again, since I've read it, it's one that I continually go, like, that blew my mind. And again, spoilers, because of the fact, because most of the time with science fiction, it's, life has found life, and we either celebrate it, or it's let's take this over and demolish it, or we do this, whatever it may be. But inherently in that, there's some preciousness and some like value, kind of put like humans in this kind of like upper level of like, ooh, look how cool we are, look how center of the universe we are, right? Like there's some kind of level that there's the theme of that we're the center of the universe, as opposed to Roadside Picnic that's like, what if aliens just happened to be like stopped by on accident, considered us as we consider ants? And it's like, yeah, that could be it too. And what a Russian concept here too. That's my tag. Those are the spoilers are all done. That's my tag. Thanks so much, Brian. That's a really fun tag to do. I immediately was thinking through all the fun books and applications of all those great prompts. So do me a favor, consider yourself tagged. I want to see some more of these. I haven't done a tag in like a year or two. I don't know. I like them. I don't know why. Just kind of other stuff. So anyway, thanks again for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.